entering the presidential limousine.
Yeah, so the tea is over. Peter, thank you so much. The first ladies will ride together. The president-elect and current president will ride over together by tradition, as mentioned, a tradition that was not honored 4 years ago by Donald Trump, but an extraordinarily gracious welcome by President Biden and saying, welcome home to President Trump. Kelly O'Donnell joins us. I want to bring you into this conversation. I mean, it's just, you know, it's so interesting because we have these acrimonious campaigns, and certainly this one fit that bill. And yet these are the moments that I think so
guys,
many Americans really treasure this.
All right, so finally today has come. Today is the day for Donald J. Trump to take over the White House and to be the strongest man in this world. Is he really the strongest man? Yes, he is the strongest man if he can stand his ground. He is going to be the strongest man if he doesn't allow money and rich people, billionaires, to influence his decision making. I was not in favor of Donald Trump winning this election, but now that he is president, I am going to give him one more chance to see what he can do. No doubt, there are a lot of Americans who believe that Donald Trump is the right person to take the country to another level. They talk of Trump's first term in office, that a lot of people have had more money in their pocket, that families were living a better life as compared to Joe Biden's first term in office. Joe Biden has done the best he could do for his country. He's been in office for how many years? He's been a politician since he was born. So today is January 20th, the day that Donald Trump moved back into the White House. Since he left the White House in 2020, he has been banned. I cannot really say he has been banned. If Donald Trump, if he didn't get all those court cases, I don't really think Donald Trump would have been. I don't think he would have run for a second term. His life out of prison depended on him winning this election. And boy, oh boy, he went all out and he won the election. So today is a day for him to take over, and more than half of Americans believe in Donald Trump. Is he going to come true for them? That one, I'm not really sure, but as I said, I'm going to give him the benefit of doubt. He might do some good things this time. First time he did some good things, even though he did so many things that were mainly for his and his family's own benefit. So this time around, let's see what he does. Today is inauguration, and we know what happened last year, but he did not attend. He did not attend the inauguration of Joe Biden. And this year, Michelle Obama, who isn't even the outgoing first lady, decided that she was not going to show up. And it was funny how people from the right were going crazy. How that is the reason why they won. That is why the right, that is why the Republican, they won, because they are quick to forget. They can do something this year, and next year if the Democrats do the same thing, they automatically forget what they did last year. And that is why they won. But for the Democrats, they always think of what happened. What did you do? What did you do? The Republicans, they can remember. But they know that if we remember what we did and bring it up, we are going to lose. And they went for it this time around. This time around, it was either we make it or we don't. There was no thinking like, is this policy going to happen? I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure that they were going to win. If we go back to the campaign and listen to some of the campaign rallies, you'll be thinking that this guy is actually shooting his own foot with his own gun. But he wasn't. That was a strategy that he was bent to win the election with. And he won. He even won the popular vote. Donald Trump won the popular vote. He was never popular. But this time around, he won the popular vote. The Hispanic, the Latinos,
really treasure this
the
idea
blacks,
that
they vote for Donald Trump. So today is a day for him to move back into the White House. And boy, oh boy, my only issue is the issue of deportation. I don't know how many Africans are going to be deported back to Africa, because a lot of Africans live in the United States and their status are still not legal. And I heard that today is Monday. They said Tuesday, tomorrow Tuesday, there's going to be an ICE raid in Chicago. They are saying, quote unquote, that they will start with the criminals. But you know, when there's a raid, a lot of people are going to be caught up in that raid, and before you know it, you'll be in a one-way flight back to your country of origin. You know, you guys voted for him, you guys gave him the mandate, and he's going to do what he said he was going to do. Is he? There are some things that he's not going to do. People are dreaming, and people. One thing is the tariff; it's not going to work. Another one is him, that he's going to bring down prices. That is not going to work, because there are so many things that he does not control. There are so many factors involved in that. But when it comes to deportation, he can just use his pen, sign that sheet of paper, and ICE will be out at night, during the day, rounding up people, putting them in camps, chucking them in planes. Even overnight, people will not even know when those planes will take off. You don't know which airport, which city, the time. That is going to be chaos. But let's see if he's going to pull through with that. And if it does, Americans, those ones who say, we are Americans, are they going to be happy? Are they going to be happy? I'm just asking questions. By the way, this my YouTube channel is going through a lot of struggle. I've been having strikes upon strikes upon strikes. I've had this channel for over 5 years now. I'm slowly building up my audience. I'm slowly building up my subscribers, but I keep getting strikes. So please, guys, I need you guys. Keep subscribing, keep liking my videos, keep commenting on them. And one thing, if you watch this video, is Donald Trump. Donald Trump is your president, by the way. If you are an American, he is your president. You have no choice. So are you looking forward for Donald Trump making America great again for the next 4 years? Enjoy the inauguration. Is a symbolic day for Americans. It's a symbolic day. Enjoy it, and the only thing you can do is stay positive. Men do change. So stay positive, and let's see how these 4 years are going to go. If you ask me, I have no clue, but I'm hopeful. Hope never fails. Let's just hope And you do your part. You're an American. I'm going to do my part. I'm going to make videos. And my channel from today is going to be only about Donald Trump's 4 years in power. How is he going to do? How is the life of Americans going to change? And we know Hamas, and then after the event takes place, is it Hamas, Israel, Palestine, Gaza? They have agreed to a ceasefire. Hostages are being released. The next one is what is going to happen between Russia and Ukraine. Donald Trump said, promise us the war, that he's going to stop this war in a week. He's going to make one phone call. He's going to say, Vladimir, stop. And maybe Putin is going to stop. So today, when he takes off over office, he's going to go back to that, is it called Resolute Desk? And he's going to start making those calls. Let's see what those calls are going to bring. Tomorrow, he's going to start tweeting. The first call he made, he's going to tweet. And the press conferences this time around, let's see. And one thing I'm going to say is, let's see the first person he sacks. Let's see the first person in his cabinet that is going to be given the sack. I believe the first person who's going to be sacked is Pete Hexen. That guy doesn't know a clue. I know I can't judge him, but I've watched some of his what's it called, confirmation hearings. There are some things that he doesn't know.
Thank you, Ryan. That sets the stage.
But we know we learn on a job, but that is not a job that you learn on. You already have to be going to this job with some knowledge of what the job takes, because that is a very, very important Secretary of Defense. He is the one to call, like, yeah, let's go into this country, let's attack this country, let's supply, let's do this. He is the one. He is going to be having the code to the nuclear bomb. So it's not a position that you go in to learn things. You get in there with experience. You get in there with knowledge of how to run a... Imagine, he will be the head of... I heard it's 3 million American soldiers. Is it 3 million or 8 million? Something of that. And there are so many things that you don't know. But let's see the first person who is going to be sacked. Let's see the first person who is going to stand up to Donald Trump. Because, as they say in America, there are 3 tiers of government with equal power. Let's see which one is going to shake. Because Donald Trump is all about shaking. He wants loyalty. He wants that when he says something, you don't question him. You just say, yes, sir. What should I do, sir? That is what Donald Trump likes. That is why he likes to describe communication he had with people, and people responding to him by sir, because he wants you guys to look up to him. He wants everybody who is going to be in his cabinet not to question anything he says. So, enjoy the inauguration today. Again, subscribe, help guys. You see, I need you guys to help me build this channel. I need you guys to help the algorithm get to my channel and bring it to a lot more people. Every day is a learning process. Every day we do videos, we learn. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Stay safe, be good, enjoy the inauguration, and be hopeful. You know, Americans, we look up to you guys. If anybody tells you that is a lie, then that person is lying to himself. That's why every country we want to emulate you guys. But you know why? It's because you guys have people from every country in the world. Imagine every part. It's like every part taken from every different corner of this world makes up America. That's why you guys are so strong. Anyway, see you guys on the next video. Stay safe, be good.
There is joy and
Peace
hope
out.
in a new beginning, then the country can. And that is not just for Donald Trump. That is for world stability. That is for the importance of what these traditions mean. And so a lot of what happens today seems like it is the trappings of Washington. The underpinnings are very much the part of trying to understand what is the impact of all of this.
We just saw Susie Wiles, who who is the
incoming,
chief of staff.
the first woman.
Yes, incoming chief of staff at the White House and one of the key architects of Trump's re-election victory and political comeback. And we're continuing to watch some of these images unfold.
Yeah, we are going to see, again, the President Biden and President Trump make their way together in that vehicle. Over history, there have been some odd moments. Which Kelly could certainly talk about, but during the Carter-Reagan transition, we're told, according to Carter's chief of staff or communications director at the time, that there was kind of a awkwardness and that Jimmy Carter was consumed by the Iran hostage crisis. At the same time, Ronald Reagan reportedly was telling jokes about his Hollywood days. Here's former or incoming Vice President Vance now heading into the vehicle.
With Kamala Harris, whom he defeated, of course, at the top of the ticket.
And to people watching, to Kelly's point, to what Lester's talking about here, there may be, to some, a bit of a cognitive dissonance here, because it is a hard left turn from the days of the campaign. When you look at this image of these two together, the bitterest of rivals here. And remember how Democrats framed this campaign. It was as an existential threat to the foundations of democracy. They framed this as foundational. The argument goes, and I'm paraphrasing.
Well, both sides framed it as foundational.
Exactly. And the argument goes, the other side isn't just they don't just have bad ideas, they're bad people. And now here we are at this moment where Joe Biden, the outgoing president, is, as Kelly says, looking to really make the point that the institution prevails, the institution upholds, despite what we saw 4 years ago when there were some serious questions about whether that would be the case.
And when you talk about Jimmy Carter, Lester, you do, I think, raise an important point, which is how will President Biden be remembered? And here's, of course, House Speaker Mike Johnson, we are seeing walk in.
Something about executive orders,
Yes.
a lot.
Yes.
Not breaking news there.
Yes, that was not breaking news, but interesting to hear.
It will be a lot. How many?
Day. But it is interesting to think about that transition between Carter and Reagan. You're right, that came after such a hard-fought battle, and the parallels are extraordinary. We just laid former President Jimmy Carter to rest, and one of the themes was that his presidency was remembered in a more favorable light than when he left office. Yes, with time. And President Biden trying to write the first draft of how his presidency will be remembered, but beset by some of the same issues: high inflation, hostages being held overseas.
And when you mention hostages, Kristen, one of the key things on that inauguration day is it was an active situation.
Yes.
And Jimmy Carter was able to announce to the country at the inaugural that they had moved out of Iranian airspace. And so it was not an ordinary handing off day. He was in the middle of trying to handle a crisis. There was great friction because there was a perception that the Reagan team had had a hand in it not happening. And so what we saw unfolding with what happened with Israel and Hamas was that note of history was guiding some of the strategic and tactical decisions they made by having the two teams work together. We saw, of course, some initial hostages released. President Biden was able, in his own way, to announce that. President Trump doing his own thing, taking his own credit. So that is a guide for the kind of ways that this can happen. Also, Carter and Reagan didn't really know each other very well, but any Reagan comparison that happens today is a plus to Donald Trump. The first time that I worked with him on the road, on the trail, back in 2015, he had placards of a photo of himself with Ronald Reagan. He wanted that at the earliest moment to be a comparison for Republicans. Now, that's a decade ago and a lot of miles ago. But these comparisons today to Reagan having him